Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about semiotics, which has to do with linguistics and the study of signs and the study of symbols. So let me start this. And a lot of this stuff is instinctive. It tells us what we already know, but in a language that, we have a hard time understanding sometimes. But it's all about how we interpret signs and symbols and their use. And we're talking about, signs are all over the place. We see them everywhere. But the original concept of semiotics came about through communication theories early in the 40s or in the late 40s. Weiner and Shannon, Norbert Weiner and Claude Shannon, they stated that all information to be transmitted intentionally was to be called a signal, and anything transmitted unintentionally was going to be called noise. But that was far too restrictive for many aspects of human communication. Crawford Dunn expanded the idea of a signal to the content of messages. So this idea helps us focus on the possible layers of meaning within a message. So when he came up with this, basically he came up with three elements to a message. So there's three layers. So the alpha signal is one of them. That's the hard data. And in this case, if we're looking at the white pages, that's the alphabetical name, the address, the phone number, and such. Then we have the parasignal. That's going to be the data plus that amplification that it has. So like the illustrations, the house, the starburst, whatever it is in the picture, the fonts they chose, the color. And then we have an infrasignal. That's the information usually being transmitted unintentionally. Like, for instance, the yellowing of the paper. Obviously, we can see through to the back side of the paper, so it's really thin, it's cheap paper, it's little money spent on it. That's the infrasignal. That's the information that's really transmitted without intention. So if we look at this stop sign here, think about what the alpha signal is here, what the parasignal is, and what the infrasignal is. Obviously we have the word stop and is the alpha signal, and then the parasignal would be the red color, the octagonal shape of the stop sign, the sans serif. The infrasignal might be the material it's made out of, how, it's one of the cheaper metals that we have, how deep in the ground it is, and that sort of thing. Even with this wedding announcement, think about, do the alpha and the parasignals communicate different things? What about the word honor here? That's a little bit more formally spelled out. So semiotics, it applies to any kind of sign, not just words. It was originally coined in 1690 by John Locke in an essay concerning human understanding. Later on, it was also invented around 1916 by a Swiss linguist, Ferdinand de Saussure. And then it was also around that same time that American philosopher Charles Sanders Peirce studied about this. And we'll get into each individual in the next video.